Game of Thrones is a cultural phenomenon in the vein of Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. The HBO-produced show, based on a series of novels bearing the same name, has a horde of rabid fans that can't seem to get enough. Each episode averages 30 million viewers, and the franchise is worth well over $1 billion. But it is also by far the most expensive show in the history of television. HBO shells out $15 million for every episode. But how much of this outrageous budget goes to the actors? Well, I'm Mr. Luxury, and today we're exploring how much the Game of Thrones actors get paid. By the way, a little self-promo, if you'd like to see more luxury and money-based videos, make sure to check out my channel at the link at the top of the description. Now back to the video. Kit Harington. Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow, has an estimated net worth of $13 million. He is by far one of the show's biggest stars, though he was totally unknown before landing the role in 2014. Since then, he's become a fan favorite and demanded a salary increase for seasons 5 and 6 of $300,000 per episode. Still not satisfied, he was able to negotiate $500,000 per episode for the 7th and 8th seasons. All told, this amounts to $12.5 million for the last 4 seasons alone. Realistically, Harington's net worth is much higher than $12.5 million because he has continued to get more work outside of Game of Thrones. Harington has appeared in several feature films, including the historical romance film Pompeii and the British drama Testament of Youth, and he provides the voice of Eret in the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. Harington is descended from British royalty and the inventor of the flush toilet, but his family was far from wealthy. My parents didn't have a lot of money when I was growing up. We were comfortable, but I didn't go to Oxbridge, and yet every American interviewer I get says to me, "You're related to Charles II. Your grandfather was a baronet," he told the Evening Standard in 2014. And it's infuriating, because that is a part of my history, but you're trying to turn me into a posh boy. And I'm not. Lena Headey. We know a lot about Headey's finances because of the legal documents filed in connection with her divorce from Peter Lauren. In 2013, Headey demanded part of the couple's tax refund because she was broke. In doing so, she disclosed a lot of details about her financial situation. At the present time, I have less than $5 in my bank account, and have been using credit cards to pay for living expenses for myself and our son Wiley, she said. The Cersei Lannister actress added that she incurred a substantial amount of consumer debt to pay for our living expenses during marriage. She may have since recovered. Headey is now worth $9 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth. In 2017, she sold her home in California for $2 million. She was among a group of actors and actresses who negotiated pay increases to $300,000 and then to $500,000. And apparently she didn't need to work very hard in the final few seasons because she didn't have a ton of screen time. Given that the final season had a running time of 432 minutes, and Lena is only featured in about 25 minutes of the final selection, fans have worked out that she was making about $48,000 per minute. Not bad for a day's work. And as far as Hollywood goes, her film credits include major roles in the movies like The Jungle Book, 300, and The Purge. Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage was one of the few Game of Thrones actors with a long list of achievements before he starred on the show. At the age of 23, he committed to acting full-time, even if it meant he could only eat 1 meal a day. After breakthrough roles in films such as The Station Agent and Elf, Dinklage was well on his way to becoming a household name. But it was his role on Game of Thrones that really solidified his status as a star. Like his co-stars, Dinklage pulls in $500,000 per episode in the last season, up from $300,000 in the previous 2 seasons. Dinklage is featured in Avengers: Infinity War, The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and more. He's appeared in ads for companies like Cisco and Doritos. However, Dinklage wasn't always so successful. He told the New York Times in 2012 that he used to not even be able to afford his rat-infested apartment. "I feel really lucky, although I hate that word." he says. Living in Brooklyn in an apartment without any heat and paying for dinner at the bodega with dimes, I don't think I felt myself that lucky back then. Doing plays for $50 and trying to be true to myself as an artist and turning down commercials where they wanted a leprechaun. Saying I was lucky negates the hard work that I put in and spits on the guy who's freezing back in Brooklyn. Luckily, these days are long behind him, and the New Jersey native is worth at least $15 million. Emilia Clarke, who plays Daenerys Targaryen, is one of the 5 lead cast members on Game of Thrones who negotiated a $500,000 per episode salary for its 7th and 8th seasons, according to Variety. With 7 episodes in Season 7 and 6 episodes in Season 6, the deal has netted Clarke an impressive $6.5 million for the show's final 2 seasons, making her net worth around $13 million. And Clarke has a lot more on her balance sheet than just Game of Thrones. The 32-year-old actress was classically trained at the Drama Centre London and came to prominence in the British soap opera Doctors. Clarke also has campaigns with brands like Dior Jewelry and Dolce & Gabbana, as well as roles in films like Me Before You and Solo, a Star Wars story. These contribute to her status as one of the highest-paid actresses in television history. Time magazine named her one of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2019. She has been extremely vocal about her ability to earn the same amount as her male co-stars. Clarke also has a host of serious health problems, including issues with seizures. In 2019, following the announcement of the brain aneurysm she suffered in 2011 and 2013, Clarke launched Same You. The charity aims to broaden neuro-rehabilitation access for young people after a brain injury or stroke. Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. Similar to Lena Headey, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau also revealed a lot about his personal finances when he became embroiled in a court battle with his ex-manager. He made the same $500,000 salary as his co-stars and is worth an estimated $16 million, one of the highest net worths in the group. He also capitalized on a number of smaller promotional opportunities, like netting $75,000 to attend Comic-Con in San Diego, or $10,000 for a collectible trading card set. One of the highest-paid Danish actors in history, the 39-year-old actor has had a few run-ins with overspending. Coster-Waldau said in a Red Bull interview that he once had such a terrible audition that he went on to a store afterwards and spent $1,500 on clothes. "It just made me feel worse," he said. "I returned them the next morning, the second the shop opened. I said something like, 'I'm sorry, there's been a mistake,' and got my money back. You should have seen the look the saleswoman gave me. Total disgust. It was a good lesson. I've never spent so much on clothes in one go since." And Coster-Waldau stays busy with other projects as well. He is also known for appearing in a number of movies such as Night Watch, 1,000 Times Good Night, and Headhunters, to name a few. Born to Jorgen Oscar Fritzer-Waldau and Hanne Seborg Coster, Coster-Waldau was mainly raised by his mother after his parents divorced. In 1998, his father passed away, after which he came under the sole guardianship of his mother. He is a graduate of the Danish National School of Theatre and Contemporary Dance. The Danish star is also associated with several humanitarian causes and is a supporter of the Danish Red Cross. With Maisie Williams, we transition to what HBO considers the B tier of actors. There is a significant drop in pay for this group, though some of them still get a lot of screen time. Though her salary for the last 2 seasons has not been revealed, it is known that she was making $150,000 per episode, while her co-stars were making $300,000. It stands to reason that she would be making something in the neighborhood of $250,000 per episode, but of course, this is impossible to confirm. The 22-year-old star was only a child when she started acting in the series. Because Game of Thrones was her first ever professional role, HBO knew they could get away with paying her a relatively small salary. However, the actress received praise from her performance and can look forward to many exciting roles in the near future. In March 2013, she was nominated for a Young Artist Award for Best Performance in a TV Series, supporting young actress, for her work on the show, and in November 2013 won the BBC Radio 1 Teen Award for Best British Actor. In 2015, Williams made a debut on Doctor Who as a recurring character. This was a dream come true for the British actress who grew up watching the show. Sophie Turner. Turner was also positioned in the B-tier category along with Williams. Much like Williams, the 23-year-old actress made her acting debut with Game of Thrones. Though she only made $150,000 per episode for most of the series, she still accrued an impressive $6 million. Turner has also shown up on the silver screen, starring in X-Men, Apocalypse, and the upcoming movie Dark Phoenix. Her brand deals include partnerships with the fashion house Louis Vuitton and Wella Hair Care. Turner has nearly 10 million Instagram followers, and celebrities with similarly sized fan bases are able to pull in more than $15,000 per sponsored post. The British actress had a run-in with the tabloids after she began dating former teen heartthrob Joe Jonas. The couple were married in 2019, and Turner's Game of Thrones co-star Maisie Williams was one of 2 maids of honor. Jonas brothers Nick and Kevin Jonas served as groomsmen. Country music duo Dan and Shay performed their song Speechless as Turner walked down the aisle. Since then, she has become featured in music videos for the Jonas Brothers and Bastille, and has begun narrating audiobooks. Though she made significantly less than many of her co-stars, Turner is looking forward to a long and lucrative career. And finally, Jason Momoa. Momoa's role as Khal Drogo helped him secure a $14 million fortune, which is impressive because he was only on the show for 1 season. People close to the show estimates that he was making about $300,000 per episode. Outside of Game of Thrones, Momoa has credits from movies like Aquaman, Justice League, and Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, as well as TV shows like Baywatch. He did struggle, however, after his time ended on Game of Thrones. Momoa said he was literally broke before he was cast as Aquaman. Luckily, the movie went on to draw $1 billion in the box office, making it one lucrative thirst trap. The bottom line for each of these actors and actresses is that while their salary ranged from $150,000 to $500,000 per episode, most of the major players negotiated deals that give them a percentage of the back end. This means they will get royalty checks with each level of syndication as the shows are viewed around the world. In the case of Hetty, Clarke, Dinklage, Harington, and Coster-Waldau, this agreement will net them at least $2 million for every episode. Given that the show is one of the most popular in the history of television, these actors will be raking in royalties for years to come. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you'd like to see more content from me, Mr. Luxury, make sure to check out my channel.